In terms of scale, and I would just give one small example. If you look at every person in this room, if you equate the ratio to China, multiply every person in this room by 1,000, and that's the scale of difference that we're dealing with. It's a small ratio, but it's an accurate one. For every person in Trinidad and Tobago, there are 1,000 people in China. So if we multiply that using geography, using density models, using space, using population, using economy, that's an idea of the scale. But it's not just in terms of static measures. It's also in terms of dynamic measures, in terms of interactions and exchanges and growth rates. Because part of what I lecture in is networking. And what China experiences because of the kinds of networking dynamics that, on the scale that they have, is hyper-networking, because it happens exponentially and goes beyond our normal standard models for network development. However, again, I'm leading to the academic, and I promise to try to stick to just what we're talking about here today. I would like to invite His Excellency, Ambassador Huang Xingyuan, to say a few words, and his translator will be at his side to help us along as well. So, Ambassador, we welcome you, and thank you for coming.
尊敬的创始人先生以及执行董事先生，女士们、先生们，大家上午好。
Distinguished founding fathers Arthur Lord Jack, distinguished executive director Miguel, Carillo, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
首先呢，我祝贺我们的这个商学院，成立25周年，这是一个非常重要的年份。
First of all, I would like to congratulate the 25th anniversary of the establishment of the Arthur Lord Jack Graduate School of Business. This is a very important year.
我代表中国政府来祝贺，同时呢，我们又有一个重要的代表团——中国新闻团，实际上代表中国的媒体也前来祝贺，这就是我们祝书记带的这个代表团。
I send my congratulations on behalf of the Chinese government. Well, at the same time, we have a National Journalists Association from China to visit Trinidad and Tobago.
而且呢，他这个代表团的成员都非常的重要，是中国主流媒体的这个负责人。你们如果想了解中国的话，应该讲从他们回头的观点中，就可以完全知道中国是什么样。
All the delegates from the delegation are very important. They are from the mainstay press media from China. If you would like to know about China, you can ask them. They are the experts.
举一个最简单的例子，比如说中国农民日报的这个总编今天也在做。中国的农民，我们经常讲，13亿中国人有9亿农民，所以这个数字，光是这个9亿，恐怕呢世界上没有多少个国家能达到这个数字。
For example, Mr. Sun Lin, the editor-in-chief of Farmers Daily, is present today. You know that in China, 0.9 billion among the 1.3 billion are farmers. So I think that no country has such amount of farmers in China. So from Mr. Sun Lin, you could know something about farmers in China.
所以呢，今天呢，大家可能会了解很多中国方面的信息。但我今天也是接受邀请，给我出了一个题目，就是介绍中国。我想呢，大家对中国已经有一个基本的、初步的了解，但是有一个角度，我希望大家可以很好的了解中国，就是中国确确实实是一个非常大的国家。
Well, I think you will hear many stories about China today. But I was given a task or an invitation to give a speech. But I think you all have very plenary understanding about China. From a point of view that I could give my introduction is that China is a very vast country.
它大的什么程度呢？就是用我们特多的国土面积乘上2000，就是中国的国土面积。
How big is China? The size of land of Trinidad and Tobago multiples 2,000 is the size of land of China.
如果说它人口众多，也是它一个特点，就是用特多的人口乘上1000，就是中国的人口。
And China is populous because the population of Trinidad and Tobago multiples 1,000 is the population of China.
如果说距离，我们的的确确也相当的遥远，也就是4万公里。这是什么概念呢？就是地球自转一圈。
Talking about distance, we are 40,000 kilometers far apart, and this is half the globe.
但是我想这个距离的遥远，可能不是阻隔我们相互了解的一个问题，因为我们中国也有一句话，也是中国的国家的创始人毛泽东说的，就是叫坐地日行8万里，也就是每天即便你不运动，你也有8万里，也就4万公里的这个运行的这个距离。
But the distance can't segregate us. In China, there is a traditional saying that even though you don't work, you can still travel 80,000 miles every day because the globe evolves itself.
所以呢，这个中国与特多实际上距离既远又近。
So China and Trinidad and Tobago are far apart but close and intimate.
我今天呢，只想讲几点。第一呢，中国人民和特多人民一样，是勤劳、勇敢、智慧的人民。
There are several points I would like to make today. The first one is that Chinese people are diligent and brave as Trinidadian people.
这个200多年前，中国的渔民这个抵达了特多，当时呢，他们教会了特多人民如何用拖网来捕鱼。
2 centuries ago, fishermen from China came to Trinidad and Tobago and taught Trinidadian people how to trawl.
几十年前，我们特多出生的一位叫戴爱莲女士，她来到了中国，教会了中国人民如何跳现代舞。
And decades ago, a Trinidadian-born Chinese, Madame Dai Ai-lian, taught Chinese people how to dance.
而且呢，这200多年，中国人民，中国的很多人，他们到了特多之后，在这里落户、发展、融入当地社会，并且呢，出现了很多的优秀人才。
During the 2 centuries, many Chinese arrived in Trinidad and Tobago and work and live in peace and contentment, and they made their own contributions.
我们知道，特多的最后一位这个总督也是第一位这个总理，这个有一位华人总理。我们也知道，这个特多有一位航海家。我们也知道，特多还有一位我们这个商学院的创始人，叫阿斯洛杰克。
We know that the last governor of Trinidad and Tobago is a Chinese, is from China, and we have a very famous sailor with Chinese blood tie, and we have also the founding father of the Arthur Lord Jack Graduate School of Business from having Chinese blood tie.
他们都是中国的优秀，这个跟中国有关的、有中国血缘的、血统的优秀人员、优秀人才、优秀精英。
They're all closely related to China, and they're all excellent elites.
我想，他们用勤劳的双手，与特多各民族人民一起， 建设特多这个国家，为特多的发展做出了自己的贡献。
With their bare hands and together with other ethnic groups in Trinidad and Tobago, they together construct this country and devote to the development of this country.
同时，他们也为中特的交流交往、牵线搭桥、做桥梁，他们为中特关系的发展也做出了积极的贡献。
While at the same time, they bridge the bilateral relations between Trinidad and Tobago and China, and they contribute to the diplomatic relations.
我想讲第二点，中国人民和特多人民一样，都是爱好和平、追求民族独立统一、重视友谊的人民。
The second point I would like to make is that Chinese people and Trinidadian people are also peace lovers, independence strivers, and friendship protectors.
其实我们两国早在没有外交关系之前，我们就相互支持。
Before we established diplomatic relations, we supported each other.
中国在1971年加入联合国的时候，有一个很重要的一票，就是特多投给中国。
When China restored the permanent member status in UN Security Council, Trinidad and Tobago voted for us.
新中国成立之后，中国人民也一直在支持特多人民在追求民族独立解放方面所做的各种努力。
After the establishment of the new China, Chinese people supported the efforts that Trinidadian people made for independence.
所以我们两国的关系历史悠久，我们两国的人民友谊深厚。
So we enjoy a long history of development, and we enjoy a strong and stable friendship.
1974年，我们两国建立了外交关系之后，两国的关系的发展更加顺利。特别是最近几年，去年习近平主席第一次访问特多，访问加勒比地区，这是中国国家元首首次。今年年初，比塞萨尔总理访问了中国，下个月卡穆纳总统也将访问中国。我想，两国的政治交往、政治互信正在不断的加深。
When we established foreign relations in 1974, and our bilateral relations greatly improved in recent years. Especially in last year, our President Xi Jinping paid his first visit to Trinidad and Tobago, while in the beginning of this year, Prime Minister Bissessar paid her visit to China. And next month, the President of Trinidad and Tobago will pay his visit to China as well. So we can see that the mutual trust of our two countries are growing.
如果说政治互信是花的话，我想经贸往来是果，所以这种经贸往来的不断的加深，两国经贸关系的不断的加深，是政治关系、政治互信不断加强的一个结果。
If we compare our mutual trust to flower, our economic and commercial ties are fruits. During the deepening of our trade and commercial relations, our mutual trust is growing as well.
所以我也想讲第三点，中国人民和特多人民一样，都希望通过合作发展来实现我们共同的梦想，也就是中国人希望实现中国梦，特多人希望实现特多梦。
The third point I would like to make is that Chinese people and Trinidadian people both would like to achieve their dreams through cooperation and development.
我们现在在特多也可以看到中国的许多物美价廉的商品，也可以吃到中国很多美味的食品。
In China, we can buy many cheap cheap products with high quality from China, and we can also enjoy Chinese cuisine.
我们也可以在中国公司在这里建设的我们的文化剧场里观赏文艺节目，而且呢，我们 UA 大学的南校区也将于明年建成，也可能我们还会在那里读书、学习、交流。
We could enjoy art performance at Napa, which was constructed by a Chinese company. And currently, the southern campus of UE is being constructed by another Chinese company and will be finished next year. And probably we can read and study and exchange there.
而且呢，很多特多的朋友、特多的企业家也对中国非常感兴趣，他们在积极的寻求与中国在中国发展的这样的商机。
Many Trinidadian businessmen are interested in doing business in China, and they are positively looking for opportunities.
特多也于今年年初在中国开设了使馆，他们为特多朋友到中国去这个经商等各个方面呢，也会提供一些咨询。
The Trinidadian and Tobagonian embassy in China was opened early this year. They would provide consultants for Trinidadian businessmen to do business in China.
另外呢，特多的经济多元化目标与中国的经济转型目标正好相契合。我想呢，我们两国在经济转型、经济多元化这个方面还有很多的合作和发展空间。
In addition, we share the same goal of diversification and restructuring. We believe we have a larger space of exchange in this regard.
第四点呢，我想讲一下，中国人民和特多人民一样，也是一个文化多元的这样一个，中国是一个文化多元的国家，也是一个包容性很强的国家，也是一个多民族融合的国家。
The fourth point I would like to make is China is also diversified in culture and has many ethnic groups as Trinidadians do.
我们两国呢，文化交流，应该说非常的频繁，也非常的深入。特多的钢鼓在中国受到了广泛的欢迎。这个特多国家钢鼓乐队以及华人钢鼓乐队都到中国进行了访演，受到了非常热烈的欢迎。
We have very frequent and deep exchange in cultural respect. The steel pan performance is dearly loved by Chinese people, and the National Steel Pan Band of Trinidad and Tobago and the Chinese Steel Pan Band in Trinidad and Tobago paid a visit to China and was warmly welcomed.
中国也有大量的这个文化交流活动在特多开展。我想呢，今天其实我们做的这个研讨会，也是这项这个加深理解和交流的一项很重要的活动。
We have held many culture activities in Trinidad and Tobago, and the seminar today was counted as one of them.
总之，特多以及加勒比，也包括拉美，对于中国来讲，是一个非常重要的国家和地区。
All in all, Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean region, even the Latin American region, are important partners for China.
中国人民对特多人民也抱有非常美好的印象，也愿意与特多加强各方面的各领域的合作关系。
Trinidadian people well impress Chinese people, And Chinese people would like to cooperate with our partners in all aspects.
这个特多呢有一句俗语叫做"上帝是特多人"，我相信上帝会继续惠顾勤劳、勇敢、智慧、快乐的特多，同时也把中国捎上。
You always say that God is Trini. I believe that the God will keep providing welfares for the brave, diligent, and happy Trinidadian people together for the Chinese people.
大家了解中国，可能还有一个大的概念，就是中国迄今所取得的成绩，可能都要用除法，也就是除以中国这么大的国土，除以中国这么多的人民，可能呢，它的成绩并不是那么特别的突出。
Another point you may probably know about China is that all its achievements shall be divided by its population. So that would be in each aspect, that would be a very small number.
因此，中国这一届政府正在积极的努力，创造更大的辉煌，创造更多的机会，创造更好的国际等周边的环境，为中国的可持续发展正在做新的尝试。
So the current Chinese government is making its effort to create opportunities and a better environment for China's sustainable development.
同时，中国的问题，大家也可以用这个相反的思路去考虑，也就是说，中国如果有问题的话，其实也要用惩罚，也就是说，在特多出现的一些问题，其实在中国。在全世界，只要是有人类的地方，可能都会有，只是它要跟人口这个比例去相乘，也就是把它可以放大的话，其实呢，在中国的问题可能会更多、更大。
Talking about problems in China, we might multiply by Chinese population, and I believe that all the problems that exist in every place for human being to exist shall be zoomed when you come to China.
这就是中国新一届政府为什么要加大整治腐败的力度，为什么要深化改革，去解决很多深层次的问题，为什么要继续出台各式各样的政策，来使中国的发展能够可持续。
That is why our new government is striving for anti-corruption and is deepening our reform and is creating a better environment for its future development.
总之，我们感谢特多政府和特多人民对中国的理解和对中国的包容。
I here thank the Trinidadian government for understanding and tolerance of China.
我也相信，中国政府和中国人民还会做出更大的努力。使中国变得更加美好。
I believe that our government will make bigger efforts to achieve a better future for our people.
谢谢大家。
Thank you.
And the ambassador was pointing to, without saying it very explicitly, Zhang, which is the Chinese dream. Most of us would have grown up hearing about the American dream, where anyone can migrate from any country and go to the United States and find their fortune. China's dream, or Zhang, is very different. It's non-individualistic, and it's based on the presumption that in order to achieve individual success, one has to buy into the success of the whole. So, in a sense, that's kind of how we function as well, depending on where we come from. So, we'd like to ask very kindly for some remarks from Mr. Zhang Linbo, our representative from Huawei Technologies. He's the Caribbean representative, just to say a few short words.
Professor Miguel Carillo, Mr. Shouchen, ladies and gentlemen, very nice meeting you here. As my fellow speaker Kevin just said, a lot of Chinese companies are coming to the international stage. He just gave example of Xiaomi. Actually, the company I'm working with is also making smartphones. Kevin, where are you? You can try this. Actually, I think you said Xiaomi is like has the same function with iPhone. I think if you try this, it's better than iPhone. So, actually, yeah, a lot of people don't know Huawei. It is actually one of the biggest company you've never heard of. I don't know which mobile number you're using, B-Mobile or Digicel. But no matter what answer you give to me, you are using Huawei equipment for 7 years. We're providing telecommunication equipment for Trinidad since 2007. So actually, we're committed to this country. Also, globally, we have a very big presence. Now we're operating in 170 countries. We're serving 1/3 of the world's population. But if you look at our beginning, we're just a very small company. In 1997, when we started, we're just a reseller for another Hong Kong company. So the founding member of this company was just 6 people. But we are lucky because of the policy of opening up of reform. So we were born in a very good time. The development of Huawei is in line with the fast development of China. So if you look at the beginning, we're very small, like the city we were in, Shouchen, in 30 years ago, it's just a village. But now it's metropolitan with over 12 million people. Now Huawei has 150 employees globally. So also in Trinidad, as I just said, we stepped into this market in 2007. Now everybody are using our equipment. We're providing jobs to local people. And now we're also helping the country to evolve the telecommunication to another stage. We call it 4G LTE. So it will be soon launched. You will enjoy Huawei's technology in the future with faster speed. But really, that's just a brief introduction of the company. The topic I'm given today is the opportunity in ICT, both in China and in Trinidad. In Huawei, we think the opportunities in ICT lay in 5 areas: mobile broadband, cloud computing, big data, machine-to-machine, or some people call it internet everywhere, and social media. Because of the limitation of my expertise and the expertise of the company, today I'm just talking about the mobile broadband and cloud computing. So everybody believes that broadband is the key driver for the growth of the economy. So actually, broadband is contributing more to the economy than the roads. So building roads is not the biggest way to contribute to the economy growth, but the broadband. So now, but we think in the future, broadband mobility of the broadband will be more important, because now everybody are using mobile devices rather than using the fixed lines. So as to my experience, now I'm not using my PC to connect to the internet. Even at work, I use my tablets, my smartphones. It has the same function and it's more convenient. So we think mobile band will be the trends. In China actually is the biggest mobile market in the world because of its population and because we have companies like Huawei who contributes to the development. So LTE is really the most advanced technology for mobile broadband. China has already issued its license, and now China Mobile, China Unicom, China Telecom are building their LTE network over the country. So China Mobile last year, they promised to invest 70 billion to build their LTE base stations. That number contributes more than half of the global investment to LTE. So if you're involved in that industry in China now, or after a few years, you will be very rich because that's a very lucrative sector. As to Huawei, so previously for 2G, 3G services, we're just a follower. We're catching up with other Western companies. But in the 4G stage, we're now become a real leader. Huawei actually built world's first commercial LTE network in 2009. And as of the end of last year, we built 110 LTE network. That is more than any other companies. And that dominates around 37 of the total number. Also, the key for the technology is the patents, is the innovation. Huawei is the biggest applicants for LTE patents in the world. And also, when we're talking about 4G, Huawei is thinking about the next generation. So in the end of last year, our executives announced $600 million investment in research and development of next generation telecommunication technology, which is 5G. But now, no one knows which is 5G. So, but with the investment and the talent of the company, I think around the year of 2020, we may say the real next generation telecommunication. So those are examples of Huawei's innovation to mobile broadband. So I don't know how many people say that. That is called a USB dongle. Or another thing called the mobile Wi-Fi. You use a SIM card, you plug in a SIM card, and it could provide you a Wi-Fi signal through the wireless network. That thing is invented by Huawei. So when you're using that USB dongle to get access to internet, you're using Huawei. In mobile broadband, when you talk about mobile broadband, you cannot leave mobile devices alone. So because of the development, because of the innovation of mobile devices like this, because of all the mobile applications, we need faster and bigger bandwidth of mobile broadband. So those two things are boosting each other, actually. In that topic, in that area, China is also the biggest market and the most competitive market. As Kevin just said, we have a lot of local brands, and also like international brands, Samsung, Apple are also dominates a lot of the market share. For Huawei, as I just said, we're number 3 in terms of the shipments. So it's not yet available in Trinidad, but we're now just talking about to bring in our the newest flagship smartphones in this market. For Huawei, the strength of the company is we really have the end-to-end capability to make smartphones. We design our own chipsets. We make our user interface, although we're using other operating systems, but we have the capability to modify or optimize the user interface. Also, we have plants, we have supply chain. We can manufacture and we can do all the logistics by ourselves. So we're really well positioned in this industry. I think we'll keep fast growing. So my next topic is cloud computing. It is a really hot topic recently. Everything is cloud. Cloud mobile phone, cloud TV. Cloud is like you're centralizing or you're leveraging each part of the equipment in the network to make a unified use of resources in that network. In China, that we started to talk about cloud computing like 5 or 6 years ago. Now it becomes a very mature industry. So the growth rate of Chinese cloud computing industry is much faster than the average growth rates in the world. And we're building like the most data centers in the world now. So data center is just to be clear, that data center is a key component for cloud computing. So China is building the most data centers in the world, and it's a really huge market. What's more important is because the government realized that cloud computing is the direction we're moving forward. So it encouraged people to upgrade their technology to cloud. It encouraged the competition. It actually Chinese Ministry of Information Technology, Industry and Information has issued several policies to encourage private sector to do their cloud computing, to encourage foreign investments to this area. So for Huawei, we started very early. We started to talk to research cloud computing in 2006. Now we have solutions available like this. Half of Huawei's staff are engaged in R&D, and now all of them are using a cloud technology called the cloud desktop. So normally, when the staff come into the office, they normally use a set of PC. Now they just need a screen, a keyboard. They don't need the box anymore because we have a data center. You just use the cable to connect to the data center so that your operating system, your software, your storage will be there. It's a virtualized thing. So with the technology, we can save a lot of energy because those computers are centralized. So it could help to reduce the power consumption. And also, we need less people to maintain all the equipment. When you want to upgrade the software, you just do it one time rather than helping people one by one. So also, in terms of information security, I don't know how much people say in that movie, when you want to steal some secret of your competitors, you just use the USB, go to their computer and plug in, plug out. Now with the centralized data center, that thing will not happen. So we just keep a high security level of the data center, and you cannot steal anything. Actually, this information is stored like piece by piece. Even you want to steal, you don't know where they are. Okay, that's the end of my presentation. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have any question, we'll have a following panel. You can just ask. Thank you very much.